Hello, hello. I don't know why I keep starting my videos by singing hello, but I don't know, I don't know, maybe if you're a singer, you would even understand. I'm not a singer, but it gets me riled up. I'm ready. I just went live over on my Facebook business page. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead over there after this live because this is going to be a fun one, especially for those of you who are partnered with essential oils companies, if you've ever been partnered with them, if you have aspirations of potentially joining. I also sent an email out to my list saying I was going live in 5, so I have about a minute until that gets going here. So we can just chit chat. If you're hopping on to join the discussion, please say hi. This video today, I'm gonna come live every day and we're gonna talk a little bit more about this gap in the marketing of essential oils. I just wanna clear the air here first. I am not partnered with any essential oils company. The two that I'm going to be discussing most are doTERRA and Young Living. Again, I'm not partnered with the company, so if I pronounce something incorrectly, that's why. I am coming from a perspective of somebody who was interested in purchasing a specific essential oil, a lemon essential oil. I was interested in purchasing one as a cold market lead, and I was in a group that posted that they had this, so I said, send me an invoice. I will pay for it right now. I just want the lemon essential oil. And to make a very long story short, you can go back and find my essential oil rant somewhere else, but to make a very long story short, this person messaged me on Facebook and sent me this long description of information about the product, and then asked me about my health problems and health concerns, and then tried to get me on the phone with her. And I just wanted a lemon essential oil. I had a need, a pain point that I wanted to solve immediately. My daughter had drawn on our walls, and I was told that lemon essential oil would get the crayon off the wall. So I did not want to go into my health history. I actually have a background in wellness. My first business was in wellness, so I'm perfectly in alignment with my own health. I just wanted to pay somebody to send me a lemon essential oil, and I found it very, very, very difficult to do that. So I started doing some research because I did go live and I did rant about this in this Facebook group, and then I shared it out because the message was really resonating with a lot of people in my audience. Of course, I pissed some people off. I did not mention any names of the people who I was in contact with, but what happened was in network marketing, it's like a cult, right? If one person sees a video and they know the person's talking about them, even though I didn't mention the name, they got offended, as we all would, and then their I don't know, upline, downline, or friends just all started kind of throwing jabs at me, trying to bring me down. I don't know why people do this. It's definitely community over competition, and I bet you $1 million any one of those people who were hashing out at me and saying all these mean things, I bet you they would welcome me to their team if I said I wanted to become a distributor. So it was all just like them reacting up front to a situation that they probably realized they were in the wrong, and I was correcting them indirectly, and they didn't like that. So we need to be open to criticism in this industry. Hi, Shelly. And that's lesson number 1, but there are a ton of other lessons that I gave in that video. But what happened was this beautiful thing happened. I started having conversations with a lot of people in the industry. And the very first person who actually reached out to me on Instagram and said, because she responded to my Instagram story when I was like, my daughter drew all over the wall, how do I get this out? She actually was the one that responded and said lemon essential oil. So she put that thought in my head, and then her and I partnered up and we started digging into all kinds of details. I've got a Google document that is, I don't know how many pages long is this Google document. It is 11 pages long of research, from multiple people that I've talked to about the pros and cons of, again, we were doing doTERRA and Young Living, and how each of those companies how they teach marketing to their distributors and where the gaps lie. Yay! Okay, so you're in doTERRA. Yes, so I honestly can't even remember who's with doTERRA and who's with Young Living, but essentially, no pun intended, but funny, essentially, what I found, and I'm going to go through all of my findings throughout this week with you guys, and I would love to know whether you agree with me. I would really love to know if you don't agree with me, because then that adds another element to my research and it helps me make things much, much better for you and any new distributors or team members that you bring on. But so I'm hearing that the company has their own process for how you should be selling to your family and your friends, and they have their own recommendations. And then there's one course that I heard of that's unaffiliated with Young Living or doTERRA that is recommended for distributors too. And do you guys call yourself distributors? I don't even know. Let me know in the comments if you call yourself distributors. There's an unaffiliated course on marketing that is recommended to you guys. However, that course and the marketing that Young Living and doTERRA teaches does not touch on or doesn't go into very good detail on how to approach a cold market lead. So there's a huge gap from my research in how to approach a cold market lead. And I'm gonna open up another notes section here. Hopefully, I know Shelly's here live with me, so feel free to chime in and give me some thoughts from your perspective on, what you've seen with the people who you're associated with in doTERRA. And then when you're watching the replay, please help me out here. This is research. I plan to revolutionize this industry. This is kind of a passion project of mine, so I want to be receiving as much research as I can right now. Shelly says, we all do a little different, wellness advocates. Yeah, and so my company, I started out as a wellness professional, and then I became a business consultant, and I grew my digital marketing agency. So it's kind of full circle to me. We focus primarily on wellness professionals. So because you guys are all wellness advocates, I've got a personal connection to you. So I really want to help you out because I've been there. I've been partnered with direct marketing companies, not direct marketing companies, direct sales. So I've been partnered with Beachbody in the past. I was partnered with Senegence in the past. Most of Shelly's market is cold. Okay, I know we're hopping on a phone call, Shelly, so I might ask you some questions. Our phone calls for something else, but we might go longer so that I can ask you some questions about this too. So here's where I said the gaps are, and there's a lot of them. Okay. So gap number one, how to bridge the gap from a new cold lead or prospect and turn them into a buyer without coming off as salesy. So I would love to know, for those of you who are with Young Living or doTERRA right now, how you teach your downline to bridge the gap from a cold lead, a brand new prospect, somebody who doesn't know who you are, they're not in your network, they just happen to stumble upon you from another social media channel. How do you bridge that gap? How do you turn them into a buyer? Or how do you bring them onto your team without feeling salesy? What is your system? We should all have systems, right? Because we need to be able to replicate. If we figure out how to do something ourselves, we need to systematize that and we need to replicate that so that, especially in network marketing, if somebody's at the top in network marketing and they've figured it out and it's working for them, they need to create a system. What is the system that they follow so they can hand out that template to all of their downline? They don't need to manually train each and every person. I see a lot of that going on, but instead they just hand out the template. Here's the system. This is what you do. This is how you follow. Yay, I'm so glad that you can't wait to talk to me. You have your sales streamlined with cold market. Yes, okay, I want to know what that is. I want to know. You have a solid system? Yes. Okay, share it with me. Because Shelly, if you have a solid system, there are a lot of people who need that system, and you should be sharing that, selling that system, right? And that is what I am personally I'm trying to partner with the people who have a system, because I'm creating a course for people partnered with essential oils, and I want to help fill these gaps. So I love that. Hi, Allie. Hi, Amanda. Okay, so like I just said, the very first and main gap that I'm finding is people don't know, or they're just not taught how to correctly bridge the gap from a new prospect, a cold lead who they've never met online or in person, and turn them into a buyer without feeling salesy. All right. There's no education right now that I know of, unless Shelly, you want to share how you learned how to do this yourself. Whether this is something that you figured out over time on your own, or is this something that you were taught? If you were taught, was it a course? Was it a superior, somebody who taught you this? I would love to know that, because there's also, what I'm hearing from people, there's also no education on how to best sell an individual oil. And this is where my issue kind of stemmed from, right? I was looking for a lemon essential oil to solve a very specific problem that I had. My daughter had drawn crayon all over our walls. And in the industry, you guys, from what I'm hearing, you're not taught how to sell individual oils. There's really nothing educating you on how to sell individual oils to a new lead who isn't already part of your team, right? So you're coming off as salesy, or if I'm saying I want a lemon essential oil, you're trying to redirect me and get me to fill out a health questionnaire to join your team and do all this other stuff when I'm not interested in that. Yeah, Shelly says she makes 6 figures. And she has a bad team. That's why I make 6 figures. Have a bad team in 10 months. Badass team. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. If you're making 6 figures, it sounds like you have a pretty good team. Badass team. Bring me on live. Ooh, Shelly, I will admit that this is the first time I'd be bringing somebody on live. So, let's see. I think you have to accept. I'm bringing you on live, girl. Hi, Lisa. Shelly.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Are you driving?
I just stopped. I was just going to Kohl's to get to return something, and I caught you. I'm sitting here in the parking lot. I went to the DMV to get my driver's license updated, and they're closed.
Oh my God! On Monday.
This is totally awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So here I am sitting here. I'm super excited to talk with you. I love your passion for revolutionizing, some of the gaps that you see. I appreciate that you are not, affiliated with these things, but you are kind of drawing a spotlight on something that does have gaps. And I think it's so important that we be open to growth, no matter where we're at, and that we approach things positively and try to make the world a better place. And I see you doing that. I absolutely love,
Thank you.
The put out here. So I have been with my industry for 14 months. We have a very tight structure and team training in place. We really have been led by people that have been doing different network marketing, right? Different industries, not just network marketing. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I've owned probably 6 businesses. I'm 38 years old. And I loved the team that approached me to sell with doTERRA. I thought that they were all stars in their own right, and I knew that they could teach me. So my passion was not first the essential oils, okay? I loved
you are your brand.
I loved the structure.
And you were attracted to the people, right? That's right.
Yeah, I was attracted to the people, the team. It wasn't a hobby for them. It was something that we know it's a great company and we know it's great, but it's a vehicle for us to get to accomplish the things we have for ourselves. So I know that the 40, 50-hour work week I put in right now, in a couple of years when my team is like rock solid, I'll be working 5 to 10 hours a week. And so my job, as with children, is to work myself out of a job. But I do use my product. I love my product. I appreciate it. But I also see what you're saying about the training. I know that when you link yourself with a team, if per se. You do kind of come under their umbrella, their headship of how they do things. And I think that every team has its own culture of how they do things. If they move slow, if they move fast. I like to move fast, and I like to run with people who want to move fast. I like big thinkers. That's why I'm attracted to you and why I paid to jump on a phone
And
call
you know
with
what?
you.
This one side note here, that brings up a whole nother element, a whole nother struggle of those who are aspiring to partner with a network marketing company, how to find the right team, because it's never about that, right? It's a friend who reached out to you and offered the product and then asked you to join their team, but you don't know anything about their downline or their upline to make a good decision. And you don't even understand when you're first starting out that you're going to be told what to do and not really have a say, because you've got superiors saying this is how it's done, and if you do it a different way, you're going to fail, essentially. So that's really interesting that you brought that up too.
Yeah. So, from going back to what the initial conversation was about, most of my market is cold. I love working with people I don't know. I meet people all over the place. What I immediately do, because you asked about my process and how I do it, I immediately try to form a connection with them, because I believe that every business is built essentially on relationship, okay? Always, always, always relationship first. You will go nowhere if you do not have a relationship. So my first thing is to connect with someone on a social media platform. So whether that's on Instagram or Facebook, I say, hey, listen, do you mind if we connect via Facebook? This is with a cold market. This is someone I met in Starbucks. This is someone that I met, at the mall walking around. So I connect and I hold up my phone. I say, is this you? I'm going to send you a friend request and you can accept it later if you want to. When they accept it, I add them into one of my education platforms, because education is everything. If we are not educating people, why would they want to buy anything from me? You didn't know that the lemon essential oil was going to get the crown off until someone told you that. So if I were in real estate, I would educate young couples on how to buy a home. I wouldn't expect them to buy a home from me right away. So, for me, if someone wanted to buy a lemon oil from me, it's $10. I would probably see where maybe kind of get a feel for why do you want the lemon oil. And I'm also it's very important to me that people are taken care of. So I'll be like, hey, let me add you to my group. Is that something you're interested in? So education. If they just want to buy an oil, I'll usually know that's kind of where they're at, and I'll just sell them an oil, right?
And you never know, that person would come back around, right? You're retaining that client. And even if you're giving something away for free, a lot of people don't think this way, but that's how we work with lead magnets and opt-ins online. You're giving something away for free so that that person can get to know you, like you, trust you a little bit better, and eventually come back around and purchase something higher priced and retain them as a client. So it's worth it.
Right. So there's a good chance that I would have just sent you a sample of lemon, like a 10-drop sample, because my guess is you don't need 250 drops of lemon to get the crayon off the wall, okay? So I probably would have popped a $3 sample in the mail to you and been like, hey, listen, here's my card, here's my group. If you ever want to learn more, come back to me. I believe very heavily in the fortune is in the follow-up. I'm a follow-up queen. I'm a messenger master. And yes, I just made up those two things.
It's great. I love it.
I work with customers 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before they even spend a penny. Okay. So for example, I met a girl in the grocery store. I loved her jacket. She loved my jacket. We got to talking. I said, hey, listen, can I connect with you on Facebook? Yes, absolutely. Finally, 6, 9 months down the road, when she had an actual need with a sinus infection and crap everywhere, she was like, where do I sign?
You were in the forefront of her mind. Yep.
Yeah, if I hadn't followed up with her and just shown her that I'm here to serve with open hands, okay, then, I'm not looking for the sale. I'm not looking for, you're not a dollar sign to me, okay? And I think that when you have that genuine personality, people are attracted to you. And that's why in my industry, the rank that I hit takes an average of 3 to 4 years to hit. I did it in 10 months. And that's because I genuinely want to serve people, and they want to do what I do. Yeah. They're attracted to me. I can either be like, I'm too busy, I'm going to sit behind my computer and just watch my numbers sit and stagnate, or I can get out there and I can actually do something.
Revolutionary.
And people love Yeah, I love that. They're attracted. I want to be like that.
You don't stand out in the crowd by following what everybody else is doing, right? You need to be you, and everybody's got their own little quirks that make them them, and we need to use them.
But girl, our society, our children, I don't know if you have kids, they're all taught. You go to school, you sit there from 9 to 3, you come plus you do what everyone else is doing. So finally, you know, the strong like me who think on my own, we're the ones who grow stronger because we're like, I'm not going to follow the normal. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to bust my tail.
I think that's how I got started. I was like, I had people telling me you could never be successful as an entrepreneur. If you quit your corporate job, you will never find a husband. You will never be able to plan or have or support a family. And because of that, I can go back and thank those people because I was like, oh, hell no. Like, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you and prove to you that I can. But one note also, you mentioned that I probably only need 1 or 2 drops of the lemon essential oil to actually get the crayon out of the wall. But I wouldn't know that, right? Because I'm a complete new lead and I haven't been educated. So you could even, anybody listening here, one way to get me and capture you, because I know one of the pain points is if you just sell somebody via PayPal, you're not really capturing that lead. So it's harder for you to have a follow-up process if you only have a mailing address. But you can tell me, hey, you know, I'll send you a lemon essential oil, $10, whatever the price is. Do you want to give me your name and your email address, and I can add you to my newsletter list, and I can actually send you a series of emails of how to use this lemon essential oil, right? You could then tell me in an email that I only need 2 drops because I might get it in the mail and like pour it all on a washcloth and try and go and wash it off the wall, and I don't need to do that. I'm wasting it.
Right. You know, I have a friend, a guy that I graduated with from high school. He's selling $1 million homes in California now. He went to the School of Hard Knocks, and I had him come into my team group, and we did like an hour, you know, like interview with one another. And man, I'm telling you what, he just spoke some solid truth fire into my team because he was like, girls, you know, you have got to get people on a system of education. Yep. So like you're saying, you know, every month he's like, I'm not asking people to buy a home from or sell their home through me every single month. He goes, but those people, they see me, I educate them, and you stick with it. And, you know, the work you put in month 1 is going to pay off in month 9, 10, 11, and 12. So it really is about that follow-up. I think so often we want to go for the kill. We want the sale, we want the wholesale customer, we want you to be my distributor, that we often forget those baby steps that come before that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you hopped on here. It's more thinking less about yourself, right? And making money. And it's more about the benefit to the other person. If you're looking for a partnership in business and network marketing, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're looking to be a friend with somebody, you're just like, I want to be your friend. You're not saying, let's be friends because it's going to make me a happier person. You're saying, let's be friends because the two of us will be able to communicate and talk on a regular basis. Let's partner in business together because it's going to help you grow your following and be more visible and build your engagement on social media, online and offline, you know, whatever. Like, you're giving out the benefit to them, and it's not about us. It's about you.
Absolutely.
Love it.
And when that clicks, I love seeing that when that clicks in one of my wellness advocates' mind, because so often it's all about me and making the dollar and getting my paycheck and stuff. And when I see that click in them, I see them grow. Yep. You know, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I get it, you know? And I always say that what you learn in kindergarten is all you need for life, okay? Know, those you know, share, be kind, be nice, you know,
it's often
whatever.
Not our fault. It's often not our fault because we resist. And we resist not necessarily because we want to be resisting. We resist because we have a million other people in our little bubble telling us to do the other thing than what really feels aligned and right for us. So I'm not blaming anybody who's done this. I don't blame the person who, if you guys haven't watched that video, go watch that lemon essential oils rant video I did 2 months ago. I don't blame her. I don't blame her upline or downline, nothing. It's just because we have to, it's an art. Right? We have to learn to resist. We have to learn to align and then realign and just keep going back to that alignment because you're going to be pulled in every which way and you need to stay grounded.
Here's what I find is that when I'm in a room, and I loved what you had to say the other day. I think it was you that said it. I think it was you that said it. Like, even your own business partners and your customers can bring you down because their energy is low, and you start feeling. So what I find is when I start getting in that mindset, I start to surround myself with people like you and with people maybe that aren't in my industry because it draws me back up again. And immediately like, okay, I cannot be just drawn down by these Debbie Downers. I have got to be in the circle. I love John Maxwell. I love his books. He talks about, if you're in a room and you're the best, you're in the wrong room.
Right. Yep.
You know,
You want to be
you got to surround.
scared. You want to be scared to walk into a room because you feel like you're not knowledgeable enough because everybody else is so much, and that just makes you so much better when you feel that way, and they want to help you too. I mean, it works around the clock, and I love that. And I'm glad that you recognize that. And I'm trying to think where I wanted to go with that because I had something to say, but I can't remember it now. Okay. But yes, I love this, and I would love for you to put a link. You said you have a group. If it's an unaffiliated group, or if you invite people in the public to come into that group and chat with you, this is a really great way to get to know people. And Shelly came on live here, so now you have spoken to her in the flesh. Here she is. I remember what I was going to say. I don't necessarily need to hop on live every single day anymore like I did when I was first growing my business. But so I stopped doing it for a while, and I just brought that back, and I'm already feeling so much better and connecting with people like you. I probably wouldn't have connected with you. And so when you have those people in your life that are kind of pulling you down and draining your energy, do the things that light you up. Be funny, show up as you, meet other people, go to a networking event, go out to a restaurant by yourself or a bar and just talk to the person sitting next to you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Well, and honestly, like I do quite a bit of looking online and seeing what other people are up to. I like learning from them. And that's how I found you, was that I met this gal at a vendor event last weekend. She's a personal trainer. She posted about this book that someone wrote. It was you that wrote the book and collaborated with other people. And I was like, who is this girl? She lives close to me. I'm in Lancaster County.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I just moved. No, I moved. We just moved to Florida. I know. I have to change that. I have to change that on my profile because everybody thinks I'm still in Philly. I grew up in Allentown and have been living in Philly for the past 8 years. I was in Philly, but my husband just got a job offer in St. Petersburg, so we're in sunny Florida. Sorry about your winter this year.
I know. I mean, look at this. On Friday, I had on shorts.
Yeah, it was like 70s,
and now today. Yeah, I know. It was gorgeous. I had a huge class booked for Friday night. I had like 20 RSVPs. I swear I was down to like 4 because of the weather. It was so gorgeous, and people were like, I'm not going to go in a class.
But you have a system and a follow-up process, so you're good.
Well,
you're golden.
I have so many advocates that are working now. I've taught them how to follow up. I've trained them. And so a lot of my work is now a little bit different, but I will always also still stay true to my own systems. But you know what? I could sit here and talk with you all day, but I know that you have other people to, interact with, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But thank you for having me on here, and I look forward to a rich and prosperous, friendship with you. I truly do, because I'm going to come see you in Florida because the weather here sucks.
Please, always welcome, always welcome. Thank you. I don't even know how to like get you off. Maybe you do that. I've never done this.
All right, I'll do it. I'll talk to you.
Okay. Bye. Thank you guys. I see Tina. I know that we had a bunch of other people commenting. Amanda, I know I saw a comment from you that I missed. But Tina's agreeing. I'm seeing likes coming through. I appreciate you guys. That was kind of an impromptu. We brought Shelly on to talk about her systems because it sounds like she's doing exactly what everybody needs to be duplicating in this industry. All network marketers, but we're focusing on doTERRA and Young Living distributors. But Tina did say, surround yourself with those who want to be, with those who lift you up. You should, they say you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So really think about that. And feel free to comment below in this video, add to our discussion today, and I'll be back in here tomorrow with some more content so we can really deep dive into these issues. I can share some more issues that have come up because I think the lesson today is really systematized. The lesson is, if you are partnered right now with a network marketing company and you have a team, who on that team do you resonate with? Do you align with the most? Connect with that person. I want you to reach out to maybe 5 people. Let's say reach out to 5 people who you align with, who you resonate with, who you connect with on your team, your network marketing team, and hop on a 15-minute chat with that person and just talk about how you guys came to be partnered with the company that you're with, and the systems, right? So let's introduce ourselves and just get to know these 5 people. And number 2, let's talk about systems. Ask them how they systematize their business, how they became successful, the step-by-step process that they do day in and day out in order to make sure that they continue to be successful long-term, and then replicate that with your downline, with your team. I think the more people who start to do this, the more successful we will all be in this industry. And I think that's a really, really big takeaway from today's video. So have a wonderful Monday. I have goosebumps because I feel like that was so, so, so valuable. Thank you guys for joining, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.